Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me jump over here.
Okay.
And
I'm going to pop out, and blessings to you all.
Blessings to you as well. Thank you.
Okay.
So, Frida, let's see if we can hear you again. Can you check and see if you're muted, or if we can hear you?
Hear me?
It came back in. Thank you. Yes. Lovely. Okay. So, now
I have
it's cutting in and out, so there's a problem maybe with your microphone that you're using.
Is the microphone of the computer?
We can hear you now.
Okay.
But there is static when you speak, so you can get that fixed at some point. So I'm just going to check quickly. Dr. Yugandhar is here. Isabel, do we have someone who is here to maybe help Frida? Because if her mic's going in and out, we need some assistance. And I need to jump to another track and to moderate or to do my speaking engagement, and then I'll be moderating. So do we have someone who's going to be able to step in here and help if Frida's not able to communicate, if it cuts out? Perhaps Isabel?
Well, let me call her up. Is the next speaker here, Linda Ho?
So as I mentioned, I sent it to you. She contacted me yesterday and let me know that she videotaped her workshop presentation, and I just put it into the chat. If you go to the chat, okay, it says, okay, this is the video link for Linda Howe's presentation. So we need you to share your screen and play her video. And if you can't do that, we need to get someone else, maybe Isabel or maybe...
screen. I got it.
You got it?
And then what do I do? Phone, iPad.
Yeah.
Yes. Then what do I do next? Share.
You click the share screen. There you go. And then come to, and then come to the video chat. Go down to the chat and click on the Vimeo link that I sent you. Nope, the chat. Nope. You're signing in and out. So close that out. Go down to chat. Close that. Hit the X. No, hit the X. Close it out. Yep, you don't want to join or sign a meeting. You want to go to the chat at the very bottom. Go to Zoom. You need to go to your Zoom screen. Find your Zoom screen.
Okay, I got it shot.
Okay, the Zoom screen isn't up. We need to look at the Zoom screen, and then at the bottom you have the chat.
Yeah, I have the chat now.
And then click on Vimeo link that I sent in the chat. You can see the link. Do you see it in the chat?
Okay. Yeah. Video link. Okay, I got it. is not responding.
Looks like your internet it might be slow and it's having a hard time. Oh, maybe it came up now. Okay. So get rid of the closed captions, click the X and then play that video.
Hi, Sean. I am here and I have it up. If you need, I could share my screen and share the video.
Would you be willing to do that?
Oh, I'd be happy to. Yeah,
that
so
would-
she needs to close her video though.
Okay,
Let
so
me close.
yeah, stop sharing the screen. So
Okay.
so click stop sharing screen, and then we'll switch over and have Kathy share hers. Yeah, I'm really glad we have this. Linda's presentation is beautiful. I'm really glad we have it.
Okay, yeah, I have that and I'd be happy as soon as she shuts her, stop
What?
sharing.
So
Oh, stop sharing. I see.
stop
Yes.
sharing. Yes.
Okay, I can't share right now. Okay, so let's,
There we go.
Yeah. Did I
okay,
stop?
so I'm gonna share with sound. So hold on one more time. I'm gonna share sound. Okay, so I'm gonna start right now.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kathy.
Let's take a few moments
We're
to
good?
get centered in our places.
Beautiful.
Seat yourself squarely, back straight, but comfortable and supported. Bottom connected to your seat, the floor, the earth. Exhale fully, expelling anything within that is interfering with your ability to be present. Now, inhale the present, allowing it to circulate within and through you. And again, exhaling remnants of distractions. As you sit in your place, notice there is a space on the earth that you share with no other person. You are the only individual in this location. Consider that the earth, life itself, has saved a place for you. Yes, there are no substitutes for you. Only once in all the ages do you exist. And here you are now. Let's awaken to this idea and allow ourselves to take our place. Beautiful. Now get a sense of where you are and where your body is. Good. Rub your hands together and begin to draw energy up from the heart of the earth. Draw it up from the very center of the planet through the root of your body and allow it to travel up into your body through your legs, your trunk, into your neck, and up into the cavity of your skull. Allow this energy to press into the lining of your skull. By now, your hands should be warm. Use them to clear your aura, the energy field around your body. Physically, brush off the space around you, clearing away any vibration on you or around you that is not yours, and send it into the earth where it can be absorbed and transmuted. When you're finished, place your hands in your lap, palms up. Now, allow yourself to become aware of the light infinitely powerful and loving that is always there, hovering about 18 inches above your head. Your awareness of this light strengthens it, causing activation, and it rains down over you in front, behind, on both sides. The light clears away anything interfering with your ability to experience your own goodness. As the light rains down from head to toe, it arrives under your feet and begins to gather, establishing a platform of light holding you up, almost like a chair. Then the light begins to fill your energy field. This egg-shaped space extends all the way around you, about 18 inches in every direction, in front, behind, and on both sides. The light fills that space up to your ankles, your knees, your hips, all the way up to your shoulders and over the top of your head, so that now you are sitting inside a pillar of light. Let's take this moment to let the light do its work. First, by its natural magnetic property, the light draws from you anything within that does not support you. Any physical pain, discomfort, or distress that's present. Any emotional turbulence, worry, chaos. And from your mind, any thoughts that might be disturbing or upsetting you. The light draws from you anything within, preventing your experience of the ever-present inner peace. You do not have to tell the light what to do. The light is an infinite intelligence that knows exactly what you need at this moment. Just let it do its work. And while the light is drawing obstructions away from you by its magnetic nature, at the same time, by its radiant nature, it shines into you. This light radiates into you from every angle possible, in front, above, behind, and below, right? And as it passes through the boundary of your skin, it becomes exactly what you need. So, if you need courage, the light will become that. Perhaps you need comfort. The light becomes that. Observe the light as it becomes exactly what you need. Let's take a few moments here to allow this to happen. By now, you're in a state of good balance. In your mind's eye, open up the top of your head and let the light pour into you through your crown, filling you up, meeting your every need. And when you are full of light, with no more space inside of you, open up your heart center from the inside, letting the light flow from you in a stream down into the earth. Consider that you are here, open to the flow of infinite light into you through your crown, filling you up inside and pouring out through your heart center into the earth. Open your eyes now. Thank you. So what are the Akashic Records? The Akashic Record is an infinite spiritual resource available to us for our support, growth, and transformation. Akasha is a Sanskrit word meaning primary substance, that from which all things are formed. We are dealing with the very essence of life itself before we humans get tangled up in it with our thoughts and feelings. This is the raw material that is life itself. The Akashic Records are a vibrational archive of every soul and its journey as human. Let's take this apart and consider its meaning. Because it's vibrational, this means it's invisible. We never see the records with our human eyes or even with our spiritual or strong eye. It's vibrational, so we sense it primarily through our emotions. You will never see a book or a catalog or enter a library. I'm sorry to say, but it is true. Don't expect to see any images and you'll be on the right track. Next, we know it is an archive. Now, an archive is a collection or a treasury, right? Everyone is in it. There are no exceptions. So this means that all the people you know and love are included, which is great, as are all the people you don't like very much, even your exes. We can never erase anyone from the records, nor can anyone ever eliminate you from the records. The records are actually made up of everyone, every person who has ever existed. The last part is pretty important. This is about the soul's journey as human. What this means for us is that the records have no opinion about the possibility of our lives on other planets and other galaxies. While it may be that in another time and place you were in another solar system, the records do not contain that information. This means that you will not find out about lifetimes in other galaxies or starseed groups you're curious about, or names you may have collected in other places. Now, the records don't say one way or another if this is real or not. But if this is really your interest, you need to find another avenue for exploration because it simply does not exist here. So absolutely everyone is included in the records. Now, there are two parts to each set of records, like yours, mine, and really everyone else's. The first part of the record is fixed, and the second is evolving. Let me explain that. The fixed part can be thought of as fixed, right? Permanent. It's your divine potential or the DNA of your soul. It's established at the soul's inception and endures to the end of time. You know, we used to refer to this as the spiritual blueprint of the soul, but it became more confusing since it's not literal, because you never see a blueprint like an architect would use. But this essential, ultimate impression of you signifies the highest truth of who you are. The second part of each set of records is growing, it's emerging, revealing itself to us, and it changes because we do. You can think of this as the chronicles of you. It's the catalog or collection of the stories of the lifetimes you live through which you awaken to your ultimate potential and then live your highest expression while still in human form. It's helpful to understand the soul's journey as human from the Akashic point of view, as well as the Akashic interpretation of that ancient idea of reincarnation. From an Akashic perspective, we are each essentially perfect, whole, and complete at the core of our being. Now, this is quite obvious to us when we do not have bodies along with human frailties. But when we're here on Earth as humans, we have the challenge of recognizing our immense spiritual potential, followed by the opportunity to really live here on Earth as our ideal, most loving self. Through reincarnating, we awaken or grow in awareness of our ultimate potential. We realize our soul's perfection over the course of numerous lifetimes. As humans, our challenge is to love ourselves and all others unconditionally as we are loved by the divine. Reincarnation is the avenue through which we realize and live this truth. The records are the intersecting zone of heaven and earth. It can be helpful for us to know that it is not exclusively the celestial realms nor the earthly dimensions, but rather the range or the zone where the two intersect. And to get a bit more specific, as they harmonize through us as humans. Many of us want to know where to find the records and ask about where it's located. Well, it's everywhere and accessible by a subtle shift in perception. So it's always within our reach because it's infused in the very fabric of our soul, right? It's a soul level resource. Maybe some of these ideas will help you to understand it a little bit more. The records can be recognized as the convergence zone of the universal mind, heart, and will. Not one of them, but all three together. It can be thought of as the energetic connective tissue from the soul to the source. So it emanates from the soul, keeping us connected to the source, but it is not the source. So in practice, it's actually a bridge of light for our personal awakening and transformation. As you may know, the record is not new, but instead an ancient spiritual resource for modern spiritual seekers like you and I. However, the availability and understanding of the Akasha has evolved throughout history. Looking into the past, we notice the relationship between the Akashic Records and traditional religions. The Akashic Record is referred to in virtually all major religious traditions. Being from the West, the Judeo-Christian Bible is the one I'm most familiar with. We see in Psalm 139, it says, the book of life, the book of God's remembrance. This lets us know that the record is recognized, right? There is an awareness that the records exist even in ages past. Actually, even some of the ancient Greek philosophers like Plato and Aristotle identified something called the field, which is a comprehensive field of everything, holding all of life and simultaneously woven through all of life. Continuing on, we see references to the records made by the Russian theosophists in the 19th century. In particular, Helene Blavatsky, who identifies the records, but she is unable to tell us how to make a conscious connection with this resource. In the 20th century, Rudolf Steiner, the German philosopher, actually coined the term. He coined the term Akashic when referring to this particular realm of light. In the 1940s and 50s, Edgar Cayce, known as the sleeping prophet here in the US, brought our attention to the records. He was a very brilliant man, wonderful practitioner, and he introduced the Akashic Record to the West. However, he was unconscious when engaging in the records and unable to teach anyone else how to. By the 1990s, there was a dramatic shift in the record itself. For the very first time in human history, secular people began to have conscious access to the Akashic realm. So it was no longer the exclusive domain of mystics and saints and scholars, but ordinary people like you and I began to make this connection. While this has been a very exciting development for seekers all around the world, many 21st century folks really wanted some scientific validation about the existence of the Akashic field. Clearly, the modern spiritual seeker deserved some scientific clarity on the field. Dr. Irvin Laszlo, a quantum physicist of international renown, shares his wonderful work with us as early as 2004. In his breakthrough book, Science and the A Field, an integrated theory of everything, we find the first scientific proof or evidence of the existence of the Akashic field. It's with great pride that I tell you that Dr. Laszlo has endorsed the work I'm presenting to you, both my first and fourth books, as well as his Club of Budapest using the pathway prayer process to access the heart of the records, just the same as you. At this point, it's beneficial to make some distinctions that will help you have appropriate expectations of this work and your experience of the Akashic atmosphere. This is spiritual rather than psychic. Spiritual is rooted in love and is open to any outcome. Psychic is based in fear and intends to find out a desired outcome, right? And controls circumstances until a preferred result is realized. While the record is spiritual, it is not a deity. So there is never any reason to offer sacrifices, petition, or pray to the records. No. It is not the source, but the energy connecting us to the source.
Oh, hello, everybody. It is now 10:32, and I believe our next speaker is here. Is Patrick Porter, PhD, here with us today? If that was a very deep and beautiful sharing that our last speaker shared with us. And I was asked to introduce our next speaker, Patrick Porter. Oh, yes, hello. Patrick, would you please unmute yourself, and are you ready to share your workshop? The last speaker was not able to make it at this time, so she made that beautiful recording. That was Dr. Linda Ho, and we did not get to hear the end of her presentation because I wanted to stay with our timing. But so far, I can't hear or see Patrick Porter. If you're here, you can write in chat. And if you're not ready, I can continue on with the video. And oh, Dr. Yugandhar, I cannot hear you. If you'd like to unmute yourself, if you have something you'd like to share. Okay. Hi. So I do not hear Dr. Yugandhar and Patrick Porter, MD, our next presenter, is not showing up. If someone can write in chat, or I'm just going to go ahead and start playing that beautiful sharing that Dr. Linda Ho was sharing us about the Akashic Records. Okay, yeah, so I see your screen is there, Dr. Yugandhar, but I cannot, you're muted. Interesting. Yeah, so you are muted. So I want to welcome everybody who's joined us now. We're waiting for our next presenter. For the workshop. And I don't see the schedule in front of me, but I believe that Patrick Porter is next. And I believe he's here. Okay. So I'm going to continue sharing Dr. Linda Ho's video. And then somebody speak up when we have our next speaker here, okay? And then I can stop playing the video.
Those of us here on earth have the great privilege of increasing our awareness of the divine and ourselves through our relationships with other people. It's ironic that this dimension is often fraught with conflict and confusion, especially with those we love and cherish. So let's open our minds to the possibility that our difficulties with others may be the path to peace for us. These unhelpful patterns of relating become prominent in what we understand as karmic relationships. Karma is cause and effect, action, reaction. It's a very simple and natural pattern of life, but it gets stuck or repetitive with negativity. When we have negative opinions or ideas about the pattern or the people involved, the behaviors keep happening. This is commonly known as stuck karma, and it can appear to be something between us and another, but in actuality, it's always within us. When we find ourselves in a relationship laden with uncomfortable or destructive behaviors, we look to ourselves for the solution, for the gateway to change. It's a supreme spiritual challenge and opportunity to take responsibility for our thoughts, ideas, beliefs about ourselves, others, and particular behaviors, rooting out our critical, harsh interpretations. Making peace with our old harmful understandings, accepting our choices, and recognizing we always and only make selections because they are our best option. Doing this resolves stuck karma. We move into acceptance, igniting our release and propelling us into greater personal freedom. The journey from resentment to acceptance, from protection to problem, is a surprisingly satisfying journey for us. Let's examine resentment, find out what it is, the purpose it serves, and how to transform our experience of it. Resentment is a condition of consciousness involving unresolved and festering hurt, anger, or both. It engages our thoughts and feelings. Usually, they feel more like hurt than anger. Often, we strive to simply let go of resentment with little success. After understanding the valid reasons for our resentment, our emotions untangle naturally, and we find it possible to release resentment. Initially, resentments are formed as protection, but at some point become a problem. And many resentments are justified, making them seductive. However, justified resentments are just as damaging as unjustified. A most common cause of resentment is having inappropriate expectations of ourselves and other people. It's important to expect people to do what they normally do. We may hope and wish they would behave in a different way, but it is not wise to expect anyone, including ourselves, to act out of character. It only sets us up for disappointment. When we first encounter a shocking loss, betrayal, rejection, or the like, resentment is a wonderful balm enabling us to function with painful emotions. dulling the full impact of an emotional hit, our resentment protects our tender feelings until we gather the strength to face a difficult reality. Over time, however, resentment makes us emotionally and energetically numb. We lose a sense of our own aliveness. It fuels our sense of separation and isolation from others and dims our awareness of the divine. What was once a protective ally becomes a pesky problem. Having a solid grasp on the Akashic understanding of human motivation and behavior helps us to find our way to activate our inner peace even when dealing with difficult personalities. Extending the benefit of the doubt is a spiritual practice comparable to, of course, the sentiment of unconditional love with the self. It is always easier to examine these Akashic assumptions before we encounter difficult situations in our relationships. These ideas support extending benefit of the doubt to others as a way of stimulating our own inner peace. We humans are always doing the best we can to feel better about ourselves, to gain experiences of love and inner peace. Sometimes the best ideas we have to secure this experience causes harm to others. Pretending we are not hurt is ridiculous. We do not deny harm or minimize negative behavior. As we acknowledge reality, both action and consequences, our compassion for our own suffering increases, and our ability to extend the same to the offending party grows. Clearly, everyone is always doing their best. No person ever decides to do less than their best at any given moment. This includes us, but our best is not always that great. Truth for us is that our motives and actions are always for us first and foremost. This is also true for others. Actions of other people are not ultimately against us, but for them, even when their actions result in hurt and other negative consequences. Let's go into our records and explore this progression. This is an opportunity to release resentment and dissolve karma in a relationship with another person. Our next area of examination is finding freedom from limiting patterns. This is important because all humans desire the freedom to express our innermost truths and to allow life to unfold. If we feel thwarted, there must be a good reason for it. Our work is to discover why we shy away from freedom. With that insight, we can begin to deliberately move toward what we desire and away from what we don't want. In order to move into a greater state of freedom, we must believe at least 51% of ourselves need to be convinced that freedom is good. This is because we only, but always, let ourselves have what we recognize as beneficial. If for any reason we consider freedom dangerous or unhealthy, we make sure we do not access greater freedom simply because we love ourselves too much to knowingly harm ourselves. Freedom requires trust in the moment. If we are insisting on a specific outcome, we're not free. If we're afraid and dictating particular results, we're not free. In order to be truly free, we must have a genuine faith in the goodness of life, trusting that no matter what unfolds, it'll be beneficial for us in the present, now. We're required to trust in the goodness of life now, not later or in the future after we secure a specific outcome. The good news is that trusting in the moment is quite manageable for most of us. We can begin experimenting with one sliver of possibility at a time and let our trust grow. Most of us are very sophisticated about beliefs. We know that some are preferred over others. When asked to identify our beliefs, we speak the correct answers. The problem is, those are not always what we really believe. To uncover our deepest beliefs about freedom, we ask what we know to be true about freedom. When we start to mention what we know is true about freedom or our relationship with it, our true beliefs emerge. Try it and let your real beliefs reveal. Give yourself a chance to grow into all that you've been learning so you become the person you're meant to be. Enjoy who you are and the riches of your consciousness. Like previous lifetimes, all you're learning in this life is becoming a part of you. And I know at the perfect time, you will blossom, blessing us all. I'll be watching out for you. Much love and many blessings, Linda.
Thank you all so much for being with us today. That was Dr. Linda Ho. She's a doctor of spiritual studies and the leading expert and pioneer in the field of Akashic studies for personal empowerment and transformation. So we were very enriched by her knowledge and her clarity, and we were gifted with this wonderful way to get to know ourselves, connect with ourselves, some wisdom that can help us heal and grow. So thank you so much for being here on track 3 with us. We will have a slight break, and we look forward to seeing you at our next workshop. Thank you. Hi, may I ask if Patrick Porter is here? I see there's Fireflies, Note Taker Porter, and you've been here for a while. I was wondering if you're able to share, and if you are Patrick Porter, I'd love to introduce you and have you get started. Otherwise, we will have a short break until 11 o'clock when Beth Rosen will share with us about conquering the creative block. Dr. Yugandhar, I see it looks like you may want to share, but your video is off and your mic is off. I don't hear you. So thank you everybody for joining us on track 3 for the Global Transformation Festival. We are having a short break until 11 o'clock when Beth Rosen starts her wonderful workshop on Conquering the creative block.